Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome to the Suit Up Geek Fix podcast. Today is a special show. It is a Predator Throwdown. We are breaking down two amazing films head to head. Predator from 1987 versus Hulu's Prey, which I think I can speak for most of us here, was absolutely terrific. In many ways, was better than the first. And we are breaking it down by plot and story. We are breaking it down by sound and visuals, rewatchability, best moments, and overall grade. And we're going to grade all these out of 10 and see which Predator film is the best Predator film of all time. Joining us, as always, my man, Batnips at Just Ryan again. What's up, man?
Yo, what's going on, bro? Oh my God, I'm so glad we're finally just talking about Prey something, because movie was fucking awesome. And I love just watching me some Arnold Schwarzenegger fighting some fucking aliens and just dropping the one-liners like there's nobody's business, baby. Creating history, and I'm having a great fucking day now.
Absolutely. I think I can speak for all of us. This is a win-win show.
Easily.
Like when we were doing like Rebels versus Clone Wars, that's a personal thing. We're like, this is all gravy, baby. Also joining us, Queen Manda at AMX NDA Reviews. Check out Candid Cinema on YouTube, wherever you find your podcast. What's up, Manda?
I am so excited for this. I watched Predator for the very first time last night. I know it's controversial. I'm so sorry that it took that long. Jeez. I'm not a fan of Arnold. I can't deal with his stuff. I don't know what it is.
Here, bro.
I know,
you hate
but
the 80s. You hate the 80s.
No, I don't. I absolutely love Prey too, and like you said, it's a win-win. But I'm just really excited to show some love to Prey, more importantly, and get some brownie points because I watched Predator finally. So yeah.
Loretto, our fourth Suit Up co-host, will be joining us momentarily, but I say we start. Oldest goes first with 1987's Predator. Let's start off with story and plot. For me, I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10. I think both films have a kind of a mediocre plot, but what I think I like more about Predator than Prey here are the characters. I think Predator's characters, for as little screen time as they get, they make me at least invest in them way more than Prey does. It's not a great score. It's definitely going to be the lowest score of the night, but for me, it's a 7. I'm going to throw it to you, Ryan. What's your score for Predator when it comes to story and plot?
All right, so I've been thinking about the plot and the comparisons to both these films way too much, way more than honestly I think anyone should really think about a Predator storyline, because I just find it ironically funny how similar yet extremely different both of these films are to one another, and I think that's why they're both so amazing, just equally in their own right. But going back to the story and why I'm saying that is it's literally testosterone driven, but it's very anti-testosterone at the same exact time. It's all these overly jacked guys. Carl Weathers walking around with 2 fucking MP5 SMGs in the forest, getting his arm blown off. Like, these guys mean business. They are the muscle mass. And when you see them, it's very like the Expendables with all the big 80s action testosterone actors and shit like that, where they're so big it's just like, how can anyone beat them? But the Predator beats them with such an ease. And I'll get into more of my comparison on the Prey side when we get to Prey, but I think it's very testosterone driven but very anti-testosterone story at the same time. And I'm gonna go a little bit higher than you, Deebs. I'm gonna go 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10 for Ryan. Joining us now, my man Loretto from the car. What's up, Lo? Can you hear us?
Once again, we are broadcasting while I'm on the clock. I've been working a lot of extra hours, but I do have a little bit of freedom to chat with you guys, so I'm doing that from my car.
Love it, man. I'm starting to think that's your real studio. You might not want to admit it. That's where we're at. Amanda, real quick, what's your grade on Predator when it comes to story and plot?
I'm actually giving it a 6. Like, everything besides the story, like every other, like the technical aspects, everything besides that, and the characters are better in Predator than they are in Prey, but I just think that everything else elevated the story, and it was just more engaging because of those other elements, and it wasn't really the plot. Kind of got lost, kind of got confused. Again, it's always like the government or the army jargon that just goes right over my head and I don't really care about it. Just let me see things happening and all that action. So yeah, I'm giving it a 6.
All right, that's 6 for Amanda. Whoa. Sorry.
Deebs, whoa.
My bad.
Don't spoil it.
Yeah, that has my
Oh.
ratings in there already. I don't want to.
Oh,
I won't give up my
wow.
score.
Oh, you're
Loretto,
not-
how
Can I
would
show
you-
it again?
Nope. Oh yeah, Ryan Cam's in the house saying Team Predator all the way. We will
Ooh.
see. We will
Champ.
see. Well, this is what we do these for. We'll see who comes out on top. Loretto, how would you grade 1987's Predator when it comes to story and plot?
What story? I'm kidding. No, like it's funny because the basic premise of Predator is phenomenal. It's excellent. It's so simple and it's so fun to think like, what would a bunch of tough guys do if there was a big bad alien that was badder and tougher and faster and more equipped than they were? And it's a fun concept, but like Amanda was saying, the base plotline to get Arnie and his crew in is very it's like you don't really know what the hell is going on. They're supposed to rescue a cabinet minister, and then Carl Weathers is kind of sneaky as Dylan, like he's CIA, but he's friends with Dutch, but he's not really friends with Dutch because Dutch doesn't trust him for some reason, and you don't really know why. It's never explained. You just know they have a past. You know Dylan's something of a snake, and even when Dutch puts him up against the wall, you son of a bitch, and it's like I don't even know exactly why he's mad, but it's like, well, you guys are stuck there. So then we kind of deal with it as an audience. That part of it is, suffice it to say, it's not that it's poorly written. It's just that written in a manner that eventually you don't give a shit. You know, like they pick up Anna and they're supposed to save hostages. It doesn't happen, and at some point you don't care because all you really care about is the main conflict. So getting there was a little rough, and I think altogether, I think I might be a little bit higher than Manda, but it's not a terribly strong story. So I'll give it a 6.3.
Here we go.
Wow.
Damn, bro.
Here come the decimals. I guess the script was the true expendable asset when it comes to Predator. Let's go on to visuals and sound for Predator. This is the one area where if I could give it an 11 out of 10, I absolutely 100% would. The original score is absolutely iconic. I know I'm older than Amanda and Ryan here, but every time from the beginning to the end, that iconic score means so much to me as a film nerd. It holds a special place in my heart. The sound by Alan Silvestri is just a stone cold masterpiece. The visuals of the Predator monster were so far advanced for its time. Still today, one of the best monster design ever, and it still holds up for me when it's in the forest and the eyes light up. It's just, I don't know, there's something about it, and I like the jungle aspect. I think they did a really good job in the original Predator, where you feel like you're lost in the jungle, and even as good as these commandos are and things like that, they have no idea what they're up against and where they are. I think top to bottom, this is a 10 out of 10. I'm gonna go in reverse, Loretta. What's your score for Predator when it comes to visuals and sound?
So I don't know if you remember, way back before we combined forces with GeekFix, we did our underrated scores, and one of my choices was Alan Silvestri with Predator. It's just so good, the da-da-da-da-da-da. It's so exciting, and it's so iconic. And actually, even going to for people that love Endgame, that funeral score he does with the horn, it's very reminiscent of some of the things he did in Endgame. And he's such a great composer. Visually, it's stunning because you take the contrast of hulking Conan Terminator Arnie, and he's a big man, but when he's standing next to the Predator, he looks like Steph Curry out there. He's getting slapped around. If you think, I remember I was counting the hits in the fight. I think the Predator hits him 15, 16 times, and then Arnie gives him his best shot, and the Predator just looks at him nah, bruh. You're and that visual component of making Arnie a little man is it really enhances the suspense and the thrills of their fight. The jungle landscapes, a lot of it was done in I believe somewhere in LA. The way they masked what the jungle really was beautiful.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
Some
Fun
of
fact.
downstage, and some of it was just somewhere in LA, and they just really made it look like a jungle.
That's so
Um,
cool.
the practical effects, like when Jesse the Body Ventura's chest explodes and the hanging bodies,
Yes.
and just to the design on the Predator with the fangs, he's an ugly motherfucker. It's visually amazing, and I don't want to give away my age here, but this movie came out when I was born, and it's 2022, and it still looks pretty damn good. It still looks amazing, and it's still exciting to watch in 2022. And for that reason alone, I'm gonna give it 10.
10 for Loretto. What about you, Amanda?
Listen, I echo everything that Loretto just said because I watched it for the first time yesterday and I didn't expect to be that invested from the very opening scene. And that is a testament to Silvestri's score because it just brings you in the whole time, and it wasn't like overused. It really just set the tone throughout the entire movie within the jungle at the same time, and it bleeded into these action scenes where you could barely hear it, and then it would be like bombastic and then like get quiet again. Like it was just really well done. So I love that score, and the visuals were fantastic. They were so good for the time, like you just said. So I'm giving it a 10 as well. Like I was really impressed, and I cannot believe that I was just so invested from the opening scene. And I'm not an Arnold Schwarzenegger fan. Like I could care less. No, I'm sorry guys, but it's the truth. I could care less about him. But it was just so impressive for that time period, and then watching it now.
Yeah, it's just a brutally visually amazing film. Like it's visceral. It's honest, it's just so good. What about you, Ryan? What's your grade?
Something that I'm actually like kind of blown away with while watching this movie is how well his camouflage looks visually to this date. And I'm like, wow, I'm impressed they really did this in the 80s for one, an Arnold Schwarzenegger film. Two, I'm pretty sure this came out in what, 83? 82? Okay, late 80s. Where they were still struggling to do a lot of this when it comes to mirroring stuff behind them, and I give them a lot of kudos because it looks better than some stuff to this day still, and we've got updated shit. And practically, I think the Predator, like you said, Deebs, is one of the best practically designed monster or creature designs, because it's a physically made suit and it's a man within that suit. So it's an actor giving a real performance. And they did such a good job with the animatronical part of his teeth. They made him feel disgusting, but yet superhuman like at the same time, where he made Arnold Schwarzenegger look big, but not big enough to where he might not win at the same time. So I think they did a really good job at that. Now, I don't think it's better than Prey.
Okay, that's fair. That's totally fair.
I think the sound design in this really works well when you're hearing him lurk in the trees as he's stalking them, and then you get that classic heat ray vision sound. Just like, I love it. So I'm gonna give it a 9.5 out of 10.
All right, I praise. All right, let's roll on to memorable moments. Oh, hold on. I'm going to go to some comments real quick. Tyler's in the house. What's up, Tyler? Thanks for joining. Says Predator has Arnold in his prime, so Predator wins. We have Sean in the house. Thanks for joining. I think the biggest compliment you can give Predator is that while it's a movie for Arnold's prime, it doesn't feel like an Arnold film. He doesn't overpower the film. Predator's the main character in this movie. Well, I would even go like Predator, then The Jungle, then Arnold. Like it's so well.
I think that's why I liked it, because he wasn't prominent.
I think Prey actually does what they do a little bit of in this film, just 10 times better. And I think that's why they named it Prey and not Predator. I'll get into about the storyline. I'm sorry, because I just love it so much.
That gave me goosebumps. That was awesome. Thanks for joining, Sean. Thanks for joining. We are going to get into Prey very soon once we get done with our grades for Predator. Next up is memorable moments. And my goodness, I'm going to go last on this one because there's so freaking many. Lead us off, Bat Nips. What are some of your favorites?
Loretto, you already said it, but it's "you're one ugly motherfucker." And just like one of the best line deliveries of all time. Like you could just tell on the day they watched it, and they're just like, "That's it. We got fucking cinema right there," because it is one of the best moments. After that, the Predator just takes everything off, and he's ready to fucking go down. And it's one of the best moments because him and Arnold just like pummel each other for 20 minutes from that point on. It's great. I love it.
All right. What about you, Amanda? Do you have a favorite moment?
I think it's the first time that we see the hanging bodies for me, because you could kind of like hear it and like you can see like the tracking and all of that. I thought it was really, really smart. And like my favorite moments throughout, that was like my one of the best moments for me, because that's when we first kind of like encountered like, oh shit, something's gonna go bad. But for me, it was like those silent moments where they did nothing but like stare out into the jungle. Like they really capitalized on that, and I was invested. Like I was drawn in more so than Prey at times. But for me, that's what really worked with this, is like the silent moments, and they weren't afraid to let that, like those scenes breathe, to actually hear everything and like really look. But that first thing, I was so surprised, especially with the R rating at that time. I was kind of like, oh, like you're really showing this. Like I was very surprised for 87 for them to show that. So that took me by surprise. One of my like best moments for sure.
What about you, Lo?
So I'm gonna be honest, I'm a sucker for this Hulk crew. Like I think they're all iconic in their own ways. They all have like their own moments and lines that I just can't forget. But honorable mention to Billy for making his stand. He kind of had like that Native American influence in his character as well. He was their tracker. He kind of reminded me of like Hunter from the Bad Batch, kind of.
Yeah, I see that.
I love that, right? So he made his stand on the log. He was like, he took his shirt off, he took his gun off. He was like, fuck it, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die with my sword. He like sliced up his chest, and he was like, this is how I'm gonna go. Let's go. And I love that. Like that was just like I'm gonna die by the sword kind of thing. And he just, he kind of sacrificed himself for the sake of the group there. And then I hate it because it's like such a macho moment, but my favorite moment, honestly, is when they unload into the forest, into where they think the Predator is. And then you got Pancho with the grenade launcher. You got Mac is pissed off his best friend just got killed, so he's got the minigun just spraying every tree within 50 to 100 yards. Arnold's blasting them, Billy's blasting them. They got pretty much like unloaded clips into a forest, and then Pancho comes back and he's like, "We hit nothing." It's one of my favorite line deliveries, but just watching them like explode like on these badasses with their guns, and they were just so powerless to hit this one badass alien creature. It was just like they just couldn't do it, and it was like it's actually one of my favorite cinemas like ever, or cinemas, one of my favorite scenes ever.
Wait, can I also make one more honorable mention?
Yeah.
One of the best practical effect death in this, other than oh man, I forgot his name. Fuck.
Dylan?
Yeah, Dylan. Yeah, Dylan. When Dylan got his arm cut off, is Mac's head getting fucking blown up. I love that moment every time I watch it. He looks up, he's been stalking it, but he never realized that he was stalking him back the whole time. Yeah. And that when he got him off guard, he turned on his light. And it's such like a blaster from Star Wars shot too, like a cannon blaster shot. I love it. And his head, just one of the best things when they just explode and the blood goes everywhere. I love it so much. Honorable mention there.
Hey, right, that's a staple in like 80s practical cinema.
Yeah,
exploding heads, dude.
Exactly, and they all gorgeously did it. Any horror film.
It works.
I think I just connected why I love Starship Troopers so much, because Paul Verhoeven probably has the same model. They're like just body parts exploding everywhere.
Exactly.
I've been crazy. I'm a sick motherfucker. Anyway, going back to Billy, I thought one of my favorite moments was like Amanda said, in the moments where nothing's really happening. You can see Billy just scared shitless, like he's just scared, and that absolutely added to the intrigue of the monster, which we didn't really see up until that point. That was a great moment. I love the Dylan scene where he loses his arm, and Carl Weathers is the man, and there was like maybe 5 to 10 seconds where like he's only got one hand or one arm and a gun. You think he's gonna blast the Predator? Nope, he's done. He's done. There's so many great moments. Whether that is the Predator's eyes in the forest, so iconic. The first time the Predator gets unmasked, just so epic. I love that fight scene. The one scene where Arnold thinks he has the Predator trapped, and the Predator says, "No, son," and does not even bite on the trap whatsoever. That was a great moment. Tyler says, "I ain't got time to bleed." Oh man, so good. He's a sexual tyrannosaurus.
God, alluding to your first point, Poncho was like, "Billy, you ain't afraid of no man," and then Billy said, "That ain't no man."
Stick around. There's so many great moments. Get to the chopper. Dylan, you son of a bitch. And the muscles of that
God, they're
the muscles.
They're massive. I think one of my actually honorable mention for me is when Carl Weathers and Arnold Schwarzenegger at the very beginning they do that arm wrestle. Yeah, that's the one that you guys. Sorry. Yeah. I was like, why is this happening? I was so confused. I'm like, these are close-ups for what reason? No, I'm not complaining, but damn, I was like, okay.
They're just so big. They just need to be seen. They deserve their own shot. Yeah. Their muscles deserve their own shot. And by the way, this is like Pete Carl Weathers too. Yeah. This is like with his Apollo Creed fame right here.
I was floored.
He was in his fittest form. Like honestly, if I was both of them, I'd do that shit too. Like, go at it, please. I love it. So 80s.
Right.
Carl Weathers got his ass handed to him so hard by the Predator that he became an old veteran golf teacher a few years later. So let's roll on. No, we don't have grades. I did a 10 out of 10 for memorable moments for me. 10 for you, Ryan?
Yeah, just 10. Make it easy.
What about everyone else?
10.
10?
Yeah.
10,
like
10,
we
10.
can literally just go on.
10.
Wow.
10. 10. All right.
We can literally just go on about
put it on the board.
Fucking memorable this movie is, honestly.
Let's roll on to rewatchability. This is another 10 for me, man. This is a movie that is near and dear to my heart. Unlike a lot of movies, like this is one of those films that if it's on TV, I'm watching the entire thing. Like Rudy or Lord of the Rings, or there's something about this film that truly ticks in my heart, and I love it to death. This is I don't watch scenes of this film. I watch it from beginning to end, and it's just iconic. For me, it's a 10. What about you, Lo?
No, you said it best. And like within our age group, we're speaking to all the 90s kids out there that grew up in the 90s. And this was like, if it wasn't on one of the premium channels like HBO or Stars or whatever it was on TNT. And it was just playing during the day. And I swear, like, my mom would be like, "We gotta go." And then I'll be watching Predator. And she's like, "Didn't you watch the movie already?" I'm like, "I know, but it's so good." I love this movie. I grew up with it as well. I can't even remember how many times I watched it, but I was quoting everything verbatim. I even knew, like, the part when Mac, like, loses his shit and he's like, I'm gonna have me some fun. I remember every single freaking line. I hate to kind of like overhype this, but like this was a huge film for me in my childhood 2 lives. I watched it countless times. I can't even remember how many times I watched it. So
I mean, Sean's comment literally says it the best. When I got married, Chubbs from Happy Gilmore was my wife's point of reference for who Carl Weathers was, and he quickly fixed that. I mean, Carl Weathers in this film is just as masculine as you can get as fucking Arnold. Like, I just love this movie. It's so fun. It's so 80s. We're literally just gushing over this. I think that's why, in my personal opinion, this is my favorite Arnold film.
So who? Hold on.
Go ahead.
Tyler says Chubbs would have defeated the Predator. Who has a better chance of defeating the Predator? Would it be Apollo Creed? Is it Chubbs? Or is it Dylan?
Chubbs. But I think Chubbs.
What a question. We got to put a poll on Twitter for
Hey,
that
wait a
one.
minute. Hold on. Look, I don't want to be a party pooper, but Tyler, Chubbs lost his hand to an alligator, man. Come on. Like, I
but
love
he-
the guy,
And he could
but
still do it.
No, he lost his hand to an alligator,
He could
but
still do
Dylan
it.
lost his arm to the predator. You gotta remember that, Lo. You
That's
gotta
true.
remember
True. Man,
that.
Chubbs can't catch a break. All right.
We're Ashton Jackson. Oh my god.
All right, we have derailed.
Yeah.
Real
Yeah,
quick.
we do that.
Ryan, what's your grade on rewatchability?
Okay, so I'm just same as Prey. I'm gonna give this an 8.5 out of rewatchability because
Yeah.
I do think the movie does take a minute to get into it because of that main story reason you guys said earlier. So I'm gonna just leave it short and simple there. 8.5, baby.
8.5 for Ryan. What about you, Amanda?
I'm sitting at a 9, and this is like me watching it for the first time yesterday. Let's keep that in mind. I'm gonna keep saying it because damn, like I wanted to watch it again right after I finished it. It's a slow burn at the beginning, but I really love that we saw like little pieces of the Predator moving forward and like going through the jungle and all of that. They didn't give too much away. So I really love that. But yeah, I want to watch it again. So it's at a 9.
9 out of 10 for Amanda. Let's roll on to overall grade out of 10. One of the benchmarks in action cinema. One of my favorite Arnold movies ever. Incredibly iconic from the score, from the visuals, from the monster as a monster film. This is peak. This is the peak for me. Obviously, it's a 10 out of 10. What about you, Ryan? How would you grade the overall film of Predator?
I'm gonna give it a 9.2 out of 10 here. Like I said before, this is my favorite Arnold film just because, like, I think you have good reason for it is because what Sean said earlier. It doesn't feel like an Arnold film at the same time. There's so many other elements other than Arnold that really make this film work, from the Predator to the overall masculinity to the entire film. Everyone just kind of adds something on top of the amazing 80s action one-liners just scattered throughout this film. You can literally play a fucking Easter egg hunt with them for Easter one year. That's how many I forgot there were in this movie. It's just a really good time. I think the chemistry throughout all the character works really well too. I mean, if this isn't peak 80s cinema for some of you, I don't know what is, people.
Love it. What about you, Amanda?
I'm at a 9 out of 10. I really had fun with this. And again, like I'm just so impressed with every single aspect of this movie. I did not expect to love it as much as I did just because of Arnold. But this cast together, like Ryan said, the chemistry was really strong between all of them. Practical effects were mint and they still hold up in 2022. But yeah, I'm impressed. I didn't expect to love it as much as I did.
All right. What about you, Lo?
shouts out Kevin Peter Hall, Bill Duke, Jesse Ventura, Shane Black, who is an acclaimed writer and director now. He plays Hawkins, and he's got some great run-liners too. You know, geez, you got a big pussy. Geez, you got a big pussy. Echo, right? This movie is just endless fun. Like Ryan was saying, it's like excessively 80s, but in like the most stupidest, funnest ways. Like the piano sequence where they lay that village to waste full of all those drug lords or whatever they were.
Over the top.
It was just ridiculous, like 80s action, just explosions, and then like what is it? Arnold throws a knife and sticks him to a wall and says, "Stick around." Like,
I forgot that line.
like just excessively like ridiculous, but just so fun, and it's one of my favorite movies from my childhood. And I think I'll only dock it because of the story. I can't ignore the fact that the story is like I don't even know what a cabinet minister is. Like when they said it, they were we need to rescue the cabinet minister. I had to like Google, like, wait a minute, this is part of like the cabinet of the president. What are we talking about right now? Like,
make them important.
And then supposedly there was like Russians involved. Like they tried to make it like really political for some reason. It's like, wait, what are we talking about here? So I'll dock it like 0.3 just because I didn't understand any of that. But it's like a 9.7. It's one of my favorite films ever overall.
All right, 9.7 for Loretto. Right. So that wraps it up for Predator. I'm going to do the math. I'm going to throw it to you, Bat Nips, because now we get to kind of dissect an amazing film. Probably going to be in my top 5, probably of 2022. I think it's that good. Let's start off with story and plot of Prey, Hulu's Prey. Go ahead, Ryan. How would you grade it out of 10?
So I think this one is just a little bit below Predator in my eye. I think the only character that gets the best overall story throughout the film, which obviously, thankfully, it's the main character and her amazing dog. Sorry. I mean, who doesn't love the amazing dogs in the film? I mean, shout out to the dog, because I read behind the scenes that they originally were going to kill the dog in the film.
Oh, no.
Thank God they didn't. The dog saved the day on multiple occasions. But I just gotta say, I feel like when this movie hits that halfway point, it really goes for it, and it really jumps from a solid 5 storyline up to a 7.5 for me, because once the Predator fully introduces himself, I think that's when the more personal inner conflict between the characters and the siblings gets much better, because they need to make we're spoiling already. They need to make the sacrifice for her to become that leader. For her brother needed to go, and I think they did a really good job at it for having a kind of shallow beginning to the story. So yeah, I'm gonna stick with the 7.5 on the story.
7.5 for Ryan. By the way, spoiler warning of Prey. I want to talk about this. I want to spend more time about Prey than I do when it comes to Predator. Let's go on to Manda. How would you grade the plot?
I'm sitting at a 7. I thought it was a bit better than Predator. I really love that Amber Midthunder stole the entire movie. She was absolutely fantastic. I love that a woman was front and center. I love that we got to explore her connection with nature and with her family and all of that. I really enjoyed that. That she's a tracker and all of that. I think that they really explored that. And they didn't really rush it. I feel like we got a fair amount of time to sit there with her and go through it. The more they revealed about her abilities basically and her strengths, we got to see the Predator come through as well. So I thought that the story was a bit stronger just because it was female centric, and I really just loved her. I thought she carried it, and it was empowering, and it was a lot of fun to just explore that with her, her brothers and sisters. And just be one with nature. I think getting to the root of that really enhanced the story for me.
All right, 7 out of 10 for Amanda, correct?
Yep.
All right. What about you, Lo?
I found the very first teaser and just thought of this concept to be super exciting, celebrating the Comanche tribe, but getting indigenous actors to play them as well. I found the whole premise excellent, and the setting, the gorgeous landscapes. I really like the fact that they placed this story here, but also I think I'm gonna dock the story just a tiny bit, just because I think what the first film did well, but Prey didn't, was they at least had that scene in the chopper where they're shooting the shit, cracking jokes. Shane Black is making more pussy jokes, and Jesse Ventura is talking about him being a sexual tyrannosaur. And it's 30, 40 seconds, but that kind of levity and banter between the men makes you kind of care a little bit more. I would have liked to maybe have a circle around the fire with some of the warriors and the brother, and maybe Naru right next to them. They're trading war stories, on my first night I fought a boar, and they could talk about war stories, something like that. That would have been cool, even just a minute of that. And also, I wouldn't have minded seeing Naru and her brother, maybe a flashback when they were kids, just to kind of build some of that bond and some of that, just to make us care a little bit more. Not that it didn't work as is, but I thought that would have really enhanced the story. So that drops me from a 9 to an 8.5. Minor nitpicks on my part, but I just felt I love this tribe and this Naru and her family so much. I wanted to see more. And even that little bits with her mom and how her mom was teaching her how to chop up the flowers and stuff like that. I thought that was cool. I just needed a little bit more of that. That way we know what's at stake. We know why we care about Naru and her family. So, but other than that, the premise and the overall execution of the story was awesome.
Where did you go? 8.5?
C.
8.5 for low. This, yeah. Actually, so I completely agree. I'm going an 8.5 for me out of 10 on that. But I kind of disagree with your take on the story. I thought Dan Trachtenberg purposefully had a female character in this and utilized that. And, you know, back in the times when a female is not supposed to be a hunter, like, I thought it made her immediately rootable. Like, from the jump, like, completely related to her character. I was rooting for her to come out on top. Her douchebag brothers or whatever, like, were clearly downing her the entire time. I thought it just made her character that much better. Obviously, there's not as much testosterone in this film as the original.
It's the exact opposite.
Yeah, I thought it did really well. And just, you know, to piggyback off of your thoughts previously, when, like, that's why it's called Prey, not Predator. It's a totally different film. And I think what I like most about Prey is how they humanize the Predator way more than we have ever seen in a Predator film. I think we saw a lot of really awesome similarities between the humans and the Predator monster. That the story in Prey had a very clear emphasis on, like, a hunter's rite of passage, you know, killing the most dangerous beast in the wilderness, cementing yourself among the tribe. There were clear similarities between the Comanche tribe and the Predator, and I thought that was really awesome. You know, both, you know, coming home with the heads of their prey, like both you know, skinning it. There's just so many amazing moments in this film that I thought just had me thinking the entire film. And for a lot of reasons, like, I actually think by far the story in Prey is way better than Predator. So for me, I'm going an 8.5.
Can I add one little tidbit too to the whole Prey title? I like the fact that it's titled Prey because in Predator, they only mention how they think that it could have just been like a wild animal that skinned the original team that went in to do the job. But in this film, they kind of expand on that. And that's why I think they call it Prey, is because who's really fighting who is the Predator takes a beating from the bear. He takes a beating from the girl, but he also kicks a bunch of the village's ass at the same time. So I like how it's not really a full circle type of thing within this film, and that there's a danger from every front in each individual kingdom's rite of passage in this movie. And I think that's why it kind of really works in that aspect. And I think the bear part was really cool.
Also, when you think about Prey, like, it's the hunter versus colonialism. It's a female versus you know, cementing herself as an integral part of, you know, her tribe. Like, there's so many different aspects of what makes Prey a significant better film in terms of story and plot.
Also, shouts out to the wolf that bit the shit out of the Predator's leg.
Yeah.
Amazing.
You go, wolf.
Yeah. So it was awesome. Just awesome. So let's roll on to visuals. Visuals for Prey. What name? Sarah Schachner. She composed the score here. I thought she did an excellent job here. So for me, when it comes to visuals and sound with Prey, I think, like, Predator, the sound of Predator's here, the visuals are here. When it comes to Prey, the visuals are here and the sound is here. I think they just kind of flip-flop, and I think they're both, like, excellent here. I'm giving a 9.2 for visual sound for Prey. So many epic moments. So it's a little bit less than Prey, or less than Predator. Let's throw it to you, Lo. What's your grade when it comes to visuals and sound?
Oh man, this was tough because, you know, the score was kind of a lot more subtle and not as you know, like to take Amanda's word, it wasn't as bombastic as Alan Silvestri. But it was subtle and it works. It's kind of just there. But I gotta say, like, you know, the first 15 to 20 minutes with the wide canyon shots and the big shots of the valley, it made me like wish I could watch this on the big screen. I was really sad that it didn't get that theatrical release. And who knows if it would have made money, but there's some shots in this, especially with like the silhouette of the Predator looking out of the cave. Like, it would have looked luscious on the big screen. But I had some issues with the CG, especially the bear. Looked a little rough in spots. And there was some CG in the fog and stuff that kind of was a little bit rougher than I would have liked. But overall, though, I liked overall how it looked. Like, the color palette. I thought when they were tied up against the pole, like it looked really gray, but it fit the setting with what was happening in the moment. The final battle looked great, which I think is what really cemented this as such a strong picture for me. So I think overall, it's a little bit less than the original, just in terms of like some minor things. But I'll give it like an 8.8.
8.8 for Loretta. As someone who's actually been to British Columbia where it's filmed, I'll say that the film does justice. Like, if you ever been to British Columbia, like, absolutely gorgeous place to check out. I love it there. What about you, Amanda?
I'm giving it an 8. I think that the visuals were pretty strong, but I agree. I think Predator was just like on another level, especially because the sound design and the score were just like top notch. The score kind of faded for me in Prey, but what I really liked about the visuals, apart from it being like beautifully shot, again, like what Loretto said, I would love to see this like on an IMAX screen. It would have been awesome.
Yes.
But for me, when you get like the different ratings, because it was rated R for Predator, and then obviously the rating system has changed over the years, when he was like killing those animals, what I really was impressed with the effects was that the invisibility that was used would kind of mask those kills, and I thought that was really impressive, and you have a good eye to do that. So I love the visuals in this, but the sound just didn't really work for me, so that's why I'm giving it an 8.
I think the best moments of the score came in those like subtle, soft moments where like nothing's really happening. It's like a transition. Kind of, there's a lot more on the main character. It's kind of a slow period. There's some like beautiful strings, and there's a great score there, but it's not as epic as the original. Sean chimes in. I'm curious what the budget was for this film.
Yeah, I'm trying to look.
I have no idea.
I'm curious as well, honestly.
And hey, my bad. I actually forgot though. I also want to shout out the redesign too, because it doesn't look exactly like the other Predators we've seen in AVP or Predator 2 or Predators even. I thought the design was awesome. I liked the bone helmet. Like it was like
sick,
that,
bro.
It was sick. So visceral and primal. It was so cool.
And I like how they were like the technology aspect of this film as well. Like you had Naru, like it was Naru, right? Well, who's the main?
Yep, Naru.
Yeah.
Like it's her, like figuring out how to use a pistol. It was her, like figuring out the tracking system of the Predator's weapon.
Yeah.
Just as much as epic as the 1987 Predator was when it came to the Predator's technology. I thought this film did a really good job. It was subtle, but I thought it was effective. What about you, Ryan?
Wow, wow, I'm kind of shocked that you two are kind of hard on the way this film looks, because I think it looks really good. The way it's shot, to the way the action shot, to just everything. I just love the color palette of this film, and they really touch on the green blood of the Predator, and they also dropped the same line from the first Predator film. If it bleeds, we can kill it.
Absolutely.
I don't know if anyone else noticed that.
I did.
Which
I did.
I only
100%.
noticed that when I actually watched Predator this morning, and I'm like, oh shit, did they just redrop this line again? But I absolutely love that callback, and when they incorporate the settlers from France in the misty forest area. Wow, dude, I just thought that was just some exhilarating action, from what the Predator was doing to the way Naru was fighting. I felt the way the camera was shooting everything was just so... you just felt like you were in there. It's the feeling that it's a very John Wick style. It's very handheld, and I'm a big sucker for like those thrown combat action type of sequences where they kind of flow with everything. And I thought they made it look really good in this film. And I think it kind of works to Naru's character development, and she can handle herself. I think she just always fell under the pressure and she had to find it within herself. And that's what I love about this story in particular. And I think the way they shoot the action and the way she fights with the choreography, it just really adds to her character in this film. And I love it. I'm just blown away with how much I really like it.
What was your grade?
9.5.
9.5. Joey's in the house saying, just watch both. Prey is better, even though I love it. How badass was that, like, axe with a rope or something along those lines?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
So badass.
Love
So
it.
fun.
Oh,
You can just watch the last 45 minutes of this all day long. It's just nonstop, just
So good.
hyperacted. Oh,
What cracked me up was like one of her tribesmen was making fun of her, like, "What, you put your weapon on a leash?" And then she literally kills the predator with her leash.
Yeah.
Like, now what? Like,
also, it also saved her life too when she got stuck in the sinking sand.
yeah, like that
Quicksand.
fog or whatever it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was more Mortal Kombat in Prey than
Oh,
the
yeah.
actual Mortal Kombat. It's true.
Scorpion, move over.
There's
coming for you.
epic fatalities in this
Hey,
one.
also, just to piggyback on what you were saying, Ryan, like that one scene when she takes out the 3 settlers, like the fluidity of how she did it when she took the dude down, axed this dude, got up, sliced the dude's gut, like the way she was moving was just phenomenal. It was just beautiful. Like,
Also, quick fun fact, Deebs, you just mentioned Mortal Kombat. Amber Midthunder's father is the voice actor of Nightwolf in the games.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's amazing.
So dude, it's just really cool to see it
Fuck,
and
man.
hear it all. So that's just a cool fun fact.
That's awesome. Man,
love
we've got a Bad Batch reference to Hunter and my man Billy. Now we've got that. That's so cool. We got Mortal Kombat and Star Wars all in one. Let's go to Eddie commenting. It's no better than Predator 87's.
Loretto.
We're gonna get
nobody
there, Eddie.
said that.
I just want to say, I'm really
Nobody
curious to see
said
what the
that.
score is because I've been really stuck with that in my head. I
We're
don't
not
know
there
which
yet.
one I like better. So
Not there.
I'm really curious.
Loretto,
Naru's
it's
brother
your
was
fault.
kicking the Predator's ass so hard. He had to go. I love that moment. Well, we're gonna get the best moments soon. We're gonna get the
So
best
sick.
moment. We're gonna get the best moments. And Eddie, we're grading each film out of 5 categories, and we'll see who is victorious at the end of the show. Let's roll on to we're all done. We're all good with visuals and sound. Let's go to memorable moments of Prey. Lead us on this.
Okay, so this has got to be one of my favorite kills from this movie, and it's the shield kill when he gets his head stuck and then just splits it in half along with the tree, and he just casually pulls it out and walks away. I'm sitting there like, oh my god, if this is not fucking badass. And I just want to do a little shout out to the quick tomahawk throw that she was doing on the settlers when they started attacking.
So
her.
good.
Dude,
So good.
just the flow of the action is just so well done, and the color palette, the way the film looks, the landscape, all of it. Just, I think this is a great way to show how everything just ties together perfectly and just really keeps you invigorated with what's going on in this, because it goes from, I would say, 50 to 100 real fast in this film. The first half is pretty slow. It's kind of just building around what we need to know. It's slightly showing the Predator, not as slow as the Predator, but once the Predator comes in with the bear attack, it just shoots from there. I fucking loved it. Just so fun all around.
Grade. I need a grade.
Oh shit. 10 out of 10, bro. I'm so excited about it. I forgot to give my grade. 10 out of 10, baby. Love it.
Amanda.
I really loved the sinking mud sequence. I thought that was really cool. Again, like it was just her the whole time, and whenever it was just her trying to like navigate any like obstacle, I really loved it. But then it came full circle afterwards with The Predator, which I really enjoyed. But like the action was so freaking good. The whole third act, I can't even pick a favorite, but like the sinking mud, I felt it. Like I was up here. It was like the most claustrophobic moment for me. And I was like, don't let me sink. Like, don't do that. But her using her strengths. That's what I really loved about this entire movie. And just that thing coming full circle, her using it, freaking amazing how she like used it against him, his own stuff against him. Like I just thought that was really well done. So the mud pit, that's memorable for me, and I'd give it a 9.
9 for Amanda. Bear Grylls would be very proud.
I can recommend this too for elementary school students, by the way. Highly recommend.
Totally.
Highly recommend. I love it.
Especially the scene where he like literally disintegrates a wolf head.
Yeah. And then he
I
just
was
holds the skull up
scarred.
and stares at it. And you're like, oh, wow, that's cool. Oh, no. What about when he just literally guts the dog and then pulls its spine out? Like, oh my God. It's
The doggo.
Yeah, this movie is brutal.
It's brutal. That's why I love it. The brutal.
Yeah.
We won't say anything.
Apparently, I wasn't supposed to say that last part. I was like, Naru started blasting. I like when Naru started blasting. What does that mean? I don't know what that means.
She just went ham. Did she go ham? Is that what it was?
I assume when he meant she used the gun
like with the arrows.
Yeah.
Well,
That
I was
was
gonna say
cool
she had
too.
like one
Yeah.
shot, so I wouldn't call that blasting.
Yeah.
I mean,
All right.
Tyler's just in love at this point, so he's gonna call it.
It was also pretty funny them making the joke about the guns at the time, where it took a second to shoot, but like 30 minutes to fucking reload. They even did it with the one joke of him kind of over explaining it, and then you kind of watch it happen in action when the Predator comes. So
So
they
good.
double whammy the joke, and I love it so much. It was
That's
a really
so
good
fun.
joke right there.
Hey, piggybacking on that, right? Remember when the Predator had the shield up and he blocked some of their shots? And then he looked back at them and then they started reloading.
And he's just staring at them like, bro, what are you doing? Like, why are you taking so long? And they just like, boop, just shoots them.
I was getting ready for like Tom Cruise from Last Samurai to come out there and be like, they're not ready. They're not ready. All right, Loretto, how would you grade best moments?
So shouts out. This is my honorable mention really quick. Deep Blue Sea I love because Samuel Jackson's epic speech and then roar and the shark comes. Like one of my favorite moments in cinema. And it's a moment that could be replicated. I have seen it replicated, and to be honest, Prey gave it a good run for its money because this tribesman was like trying to scare her about the lion. They were hunting the lion, and he was like, oh, his mouth has teeth full of arrows, and when it eats, and then the lion just grabs him off of the tree. I was like, hell yeah, that's how Deep Blue Sea. Mid-sentence, he got chomped off of a tree and got eaten to shreds. But to be fair though, I think my favorite moment, I actually lost my train of thought. I was so excited about that moment. Hold on.
Reel it back. Reel it back.
It's really so fun.
You want me to go?
Shit. Go ahead, take it away. I'm gonna.
All right. I'm giving it a 9.5. I think there are several great moments, but I keep circling back to Dan Trachtenberg and how like he made Naru such an infinitely likable character. That I like the fact, especially by the end, that not unlike the original Predator, where Arnold figured out that he has to beat the Predator not with his muscles, but with setting traps and all that kind of stuff. Naru did the same thing. Like Naru beat the Predator with intelligence, and I love that. I love the similarities there with the whole tracking system kill. That was really, really fun, and I love that moment where she brings home the Predator's head and is screaming, and she becomes the leader of her tribe. It kind of gave me like How to Train Your Dragon 2 vibes when Hiccup became the leader of his tribe. Just epic, just pure epicness. That's cinema, man. Like Loretto said, I wish I saw this in the theater with a giant tub of popcorn because it was absolutely terrific. I'm going to 9.5 out of 10. Loretto, have you figured it out yet?
Yeah, man. Yeah, no, and I think I'm very similar in where you feel about it. I'm at like a 9.7, and I think
Okay.
her dropping the predator's head in front of her tribe and her just kind of claiming her war chief status really warmed my heart too. That was like a
Mhm.
stand up and cheer moment. If I was in the audience, I mean, I'd probably be that idiot clapping the theater, but it really warmed my heart. That one takes the cake for me too, man.
All right. Let's roll on to reachability. Lead us off, Flo. How would you grade it out of 10?
Guys, I want to rewatch it like right now. I want to watch it. I want to get off the stream and just start watching Prey again. I got my Hulu right here. Nah, but seriously, like Ryan was saying, I think like the choreography is something that whenever I admire film like John Woo films, Chow Yun Fat, like Crouching Tiger, The Raid, I always go back to choreography that I admire, and this is a film that will definitely do that for me. Especially the brother, the way he comes at the predator on the horse, and he's hitting him from the back, he's hitting him from the side, he's hitting all these different angles on him, and the predator's like, "What the hell? What's going on?" I love that. The final battle's awesome. The bear and the dog, like not like trying to save Miller from the bear, like barking at the bear and chasing the bear off. And there's so many elements here that I really enjoyed, and it's beautiful, it's gorgeous. I find myself rewatching this a lot in my near future. I think this is gonna match the Predator for me. Like this is a movie that I will never have a problem with. If I see it's on, I'll watch it. I think I'm gonna give this a 10.
10 for
Damn.
Loretto. Wow, we have Igmar saying Predator 87 with Arnold. We'll see. We're grading all these in multiple aspects. We'll see who is the victor. Joey says, I'm not being simple. The plot for Predator is cheesy. Prey's plot is so much better. Same for character development. That deck with her dog, the suspense is just awesome. Preach, Joey. I fully agree with that. Nationals in the house. Anyone think the outward shots within the cave was a callback to John Ford's The Searchers from 56? That is a callback. I have not seen that film. Has anyone seen The Searcher?
I have not.
It's been like 10 years since I've seen it. It's been so long.
I can't. I'm sorry. I can't comment on that one. Anyway, maybe I'm definitely gonna check that out. Manda, how would you grade rewatchability?
I'm at an 8.5. I enjoyed it for what it was. Like there were some really like great suspenseful moments, but I think like fun wise, where like I'll watch it because it's fun and be more like for Predator. I'm not saying that I wouldn't like watch Prey again, but I do think that I have to be in a certain type of mood to watch Prey. But yeah, 8.5 for me. The kills make the movie. It's just so freaking good. But yeah, fun wise, I'd put Predator over Prey.
All right. What about you, Ryan?
I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. I mean, this movie it has a short runtime. I mean, relative, if you want to say so, it's an hour 40, but everything just is 2+ hours nowadays. So I guess you can say it's just relatively short now, which helps it in that aspect because it kind of gets what it needs to be done in the beginning with its plot. And it's just like, all right, fuck it. We got everything we need to. We got the bases out of the way. Let's get to the Predator versus everything aspect. And that's really where this movie shines. And it makes you really want to watch it more. It's got a strong main character. Weak supports, I will say, but they got a strong main character and a really great looking film that really just brings it all together and really makes me just sit there and be like, wow, I want to watch that again.
Yep. All right. I'm going 9.5. I'm going just below Loretto here. As you guys know, I'm a pretty busy dude with a young kid, and I've already seen this movie 3 times. That does not happen in my world. That does not happen. The last time that I saw a movie and I was like, I got to see this again. Amanda, do you know what that was? When Harry Met Sally. That was the last time. That was just a few months ago. That movie blew my mind. This movie blew my mind. This is like I think Top Gun's a better film than this movie. But I don't know. Like for some reason, like I went to this movie more. I think it's just the Predator franchise. It's just I have a more personal connection to. So for me, a 9.5. I saw it 3 times already. I'm gonna see it at least you can double that more moving forward. That's how good this is. And then we get to overall grade for Prey. Lead us off, Ryan. What's your final grade for Prey before we get into our,
Poor
overall
Sean.
grade for both and see who's the winner?
I'm gonna give it a 9.2 overall, just because
Ooh.
it's so fun. I really enjoyed this movie, from just the hyperactive action to the really good main character. The overall story's decent. It's good. It's got what it needs, but it's exactly what you want from a Predator movie. And I think that's really all you need to say, because the Predator looks sick as shit in this movie as well. Like you were saying, Lo, with his skull mask, I think they did a really cool and slightly different, but different enough that gave this Predator its own different characteristic than any of the other ones we've seen, which is something that I personally like, because I'm not a big fan of those Alien versus Predator movies, and that's one of the reasons why it doesn't feel like it's doing anything different from any of the other films. And I think that's exactly what this movie needed to do, because what happened with The Predator in 2018 was, well, we don't even know what happened with that movie. So I'm gonna give it a 9.2 out of 10.
Terrible.
9.2. Tyler says, "Did you watch Prey with the kid like Sean is trying to do?"
Poor
Absolutely not. My daughter just turned 3, so no. It would be scarred for life. Even though I think I watched the first Predator probably when I was like 6 or 7 with my dad. I was corrupted at a very young age with this stuff. Maybe that's why I love this so much. Anyway, so let's roll on to Manda. How would you grade the overall score of Prey?
I had a lot of fun with it. I think that Amber, like I said, she carried the film on her back, and if it wasn't for her, I don't think that I would have enjoyed it as much. But I would give it an 8 out of 10. I thought the special effects were fantastic, and then just her navigating the jungle, very empowering to watch, because it was female centric, and then her becoming the leader afterwards, and it felt like everyone kind of understood that she is good at what she does, and I really loved that at the end. It was just a nice, like, rewarding movie. Like, you were rooting for, like you said, Dibes. So yeah, 8 out of 10 for me.
All right. What about you, Lo?
Telling y'all, I mean, if we can get like a limited release on this picture, I will buy a ticket immediately. 20th Century, Hulu, whatever y'all want to do. Let's get at least like a week of this movie in theaters and just see how people react. I would buy a ticket. This is actually one of my favorite movies of the year. It's in my top 5, easy, and I'm sliding this in over Maverick. I saw it in the theater 3 times, but I'm sliding this.
Wow, you're doing this over Maverick?
What? No, I gotta kick you from the stream. I'm sorry.
It's my number 6 right now this year. It's my number 6. No way.
No.
Maverick, bro.
That's how much I enjoyed Prey. It really, really tugged at my heartstrings. It had my heart pumping. It had me rooting for Naru. I'm so glad they didn't kill the dog. I was like, I swear, it would have lost a full star if they killed the dog. I would have been like, yo, what the? I would have been mad. But I'm glad the dog lived. And like I told Dives in our favorite moments, like when we get to that end, she earns her place as one of like the men, as the leaders of the tribe. That's just amazing. It's just a fulfilling journey to witness with her. So. I'm gonna give it a 9.5.
All right, 9.5 for Loretto. All right, let's go on. Do I sound okay? I just lost Loretto's audio a little bit. You good?
No,
You're
yeah,
good,
like
Dibes.
Lo's audio kind of
Sorry,
like blew
somebody
out.
was calling me. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, yeah, you're
Now
good.
we
You're
can
good.
hear
It just felt like you blew out for a second.
I didn't know.
9.5. Did you guys get the score?
Yeah, 9.5
Yeah.
for Loretto. All right, so I'm gonna throw this to you, Ryan. Go ahead. Wait, my 3-year-old was in the room when I watched the other Predator movie. Oh my god!
Yeah, that one. I mean, this one's pretty gory, but I feel like the Predator from 2018 is ironically even gorier. Like, it's comically kind of gory, where they all just kind of just blush gore everywhere for no reason.
Yeah.
So, I mean, hey. That's funny that
I love that. Oh my god.
Ryan, do you want to plug the House of Cinema while I do the math?
Yeah. So yeah, the House of Cinema podcast we do every week, or I do every week, take a guest. We talk about a new film. This week it was supposed to drop today, but because we were doing the stream today, I didn't want to overload everyone with content. So we're dropping it tomorrow. The special guest is with Aaron from Feelin' Film. You guys might know him from the drafts. So it was really great to have him come on and talk about Bullet Train, Brad Pitt's newest film, which is a very summer blockbuster film, let's say. So be on the lookout for that tomorrow by leaving a like, comment, subscribe, turn the notification bells on. It's all great and all of that. I mean, I'm trying not to plug everything right now so we can plug at the ends. But Deebs, how's the math going over there? Is it annoying with all the decimals we started putting?
Yeah, well, it's all Loretto.
No,
That's
good. I'm glad I started the trend first, but Loretto just kept it going. I try to be nicer to you, Deebs. I try to put a little bit less stress on you, but Loretto was just like, nah, kind of fuck Deebs.
I don't give you stress, Dibes. I don't give you stress.
No,
That's
you
it.
give all of us stress. You give us all
No,
stress.
you
Here we go.
No.
Okay, here we go. One of us trying to watch the Red Wedding together. Oh my god!
Oh my
No.
Especially after
No.
watching Game of Thrones for the very first time now, that's so funny.
That's
Like-
amazing.
Absolutely.
Parenting, that's exactly
I love it.
parenting. I
It's
love
All
it.
right.
Tough skin.
All
tough
right,
skin.
let's get into the score. Wait, hold on. Can we make predictions on who we think's win before you pull it up, Deebs?
Absolutely, go for it.
Okay, I think Predator wins. I
think
don't know if
Predator?
anyone else. I think Predator wins.
I think Predator's winning.
Parent, what about you, Loretto? Loretto's texting.
Yes. Yeah.
Lowe's
Yes,
saying the
what?
same.
Yes, what?
It's coming in right now.
All right, guys. The winner of the Predator Throwdown is 1987 Predator gets the W here by not the biggest of margins. 91.1% for the Predator, or 1987's Predator beats out Prey.
Insert the muscles gif.
Yes.
Prey got an overall score of 88%. I think it's pretty obvious what drove down Prey here. When you look at the scores, I'm not looking. I don't know what to say. But I don't know. You look at everyone else. Everyone's pretty high on Prey except for Amanda, who hated the film.
I am sorry. I did not hate the film.
No, you definitely did.
I think it's just because I watched Predator and I'm like, this is awesome. And I'm like, that's what's staying with me. I really liked it. It was good. It was a good time. I don't know why the testosterone just like, it's just so good. It was like.
The testosterone's it's just too intimidating for Amanda.
Well, what was the versus we did where one film won by like 0.1%? Does
I'm
anybody
pretty sure it
remember?
was The Raid. I'm pretty sure it
Was
was
it
The
The
Raid.
Yeah.
I think it was The Raid when we did The Raid versus The Raid
So
2.
good. That was so
Yeah.
So
fun.
good.
But
I'm also baffled how I have Prey outscoring Predator, but if I had to rank them, I'd rank them 1, 2, like Predator number 1. I'm confused.
Same.
yeah,
Same
that's
Z's. It's okay.
Yeah, they're very like this for me. That's why I was very curious to see how this was going to pan out because
Yeah.
I love them both for so many different reasons that
Yeah.
are surprisingly kind of different in their own regards.
Is this the start of a new franchise for Predator moving forward? Like, what's everyone's thought? Like, the buzz is through the
Yes.
roof, right?
I hope so.
It breathed new life into the franchise, I think, and they can really run with it now.
Yeah.
And actually, one of my film buddies, he was saying how like this would be awesome if they did this in different time periods. Like if they took it a step further, what if we get Predator in the Middle Ages? What if we get
Oh yeah.
Predator during
Oh,
the World
Imagine in
War I?
Greece, the Greeks fighting the Predator.
Oh,
I
man.
like that.
I
like
think
that.
Predators
Amen.
Predators just kind of always worked when they haven't overcomplicated it. I think that's why everyone's more iffy on the Predator and Predator 2 is because I feel like they try to do way too much with those two movies where they don't really have to. It's just man versus fucking alien. And it's the alien majority winning throughout the film until they figure out, oh fuck, I just got to be smart for one time in my life and not kind of just push on through.
Hell
So I think
I
that'll
mean-
work, just different time periods. Imagine a
I think,
Predator
I, I
and
think I'm
Pompeii.
biased because I love Predator, but Predator 2 is fucking awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
National
gotta
says,
watch it.
is there an enhanced edition for theaters or physical media? I have no idea.
I
They
don't.
need to if they're making. They beat the streaming record on Hulu. There's no way they're not going to get a theatrical.
Yeah.
There's no way.
There's no reason not to at this
Exactly.
point. That's what it's looking like. But I really hope we get another one. They don't even have to be like a fucking actual legitimate sequel. Predator lands.
You know what? Bet,
Yeah.
honestly, those ladies can take them. I
No,
can
yeah.
see
Honestly, I don't know if the Predator's winning that one. Just like
But-
Be
Anyway.
Arthur alone, fam.
Oh my god! All right, so
He's so
here's our
funny.
final scores again, one more time. Predator got 91.1%, while Prey got 88%. So Predator from 1987 is still the champion here. Let's go on to plugs. Next Wednesday night at 8 p.m. East Coast time will be our next movie draft, and that will be the greatest MCU moments of all time. Both movies, both TV on Disney Plus. It's going to be absolutely epic. I'm not in it, and I'm kind of mad at it. I guess that's the punishment of winning these things. Am I right, Loretto?
Wow.
I mean, I'm just saying,
Damn, man.
my win's imminent. My win's imminent.
But yeah, that's going to be a live movie draft. 10 teams celebrating the greatest MCU moments of all time. That'll be next Wednesday night at 8 p.m. The 17th, I think it is. And that's going to be a ton of fun. There'll be a live draft like fantasy football style. A lot of trash talking, a lot of boozing, and then a post-game show just reacting and grading everyone's selections. And then we will throw everybody's team onto our Twitter channel at the Suit Up Geeks for voting for who you think in a single elimination bracket, who you think is gonna or has the best collection of MCU moments. So with that being said, I'm gonna throw it to you, Ryan. Final thoughts on Prey versus Predator and plugs.
Absolutely love both these films. I wasn't expecting Prey to really come out strong like this. I wasn't expecting the worst, but I wasn't expecting this, and I think that's why it's such a joy to really come here, talk about it, and just gush over these two just really awesome but somewhat cheesy films that we just love as culture cinema right here. And it's just a good time all around for just totally different reasons. I enjoyed talking about them, and honestly, we might just have to do a full review for Prey in the coming weeks because this movie's just really fucking fun and gives us more of a reason to watch it again. And you guys can always follow me just running again on Twitter, just posting every boring take on Twitter as per usual. Every typical take that you can just find on Twitter, you can just find on my account. So there's absolutely no reason to follow me. I mean, I'm just trying to do the reverse, so you absolutely should follow me. Not thinking that like Deebs would agree, hoping like he'd come in strong. Like no. Okay, I got good takes. I got very good takes. You guys should definitely follow me. No, I love coming on here talking about fucking movies with you guys. It's a good time.
What about you, Amanda?
You should definitely follow him because he has some pretty hot takes, and they're questionable sometimes. Worse than me. You can always follow me over at AMX NDA Reviews, Twitter, Instagram, Letterboxd times. I really loved both of them. I swear to God, like I was so impressed with this franchise. It was the first time I ever watched. That's a lie. 2018 Predator was not good, so that's probably why I blocked it out of my mind. And this is the first time, so I watched both of them. But yeah, you can follow me there. I'm always here. I love these guys so much, and it's always fun doing all this stuff with them. And the draft next week's going to be lit, so make sure to like and subscribe and turn the notification bell on for the Suit of Geeks.
Amanda, is this a fair take? Ready? Is Prey the Man of Steel of the DC universe? Is this? Is this? All right, hold on. Well, hear me out.
We're starting arguments.
Is this like that? Like you're getting that this franchise kind of in the right direction? Because I love Man of Steel. I thought it was like absolutely terrific. Not I didn't like pretty much everything.
We know.
But there's a level of excitement about the franchise, the Predator franchise, for the first time in a long time. And is this kind of the same? Do you have the same vibes? Because I do.
Same vibes. I get it. Yes, I completely understand what you're saying. And I do feel that like this is just a fresh perspective and it went back to the roots and you're like starting from scratch, I think. Because no one's gonna remember 2018. It's blocked out, as I said. So I really do think they have something on their hands here. And if they do it in different locations and eras, in time periods, I think that's gonna be really
I can
cool.
answer this too.
No,
It's
don't let
definitely
Ryan
Suicide.
answer.
It's definitely Suicide Squad. Nah, psych. It's BVS,
Okay.
motherfucker.
I was gonna say, I think Batman Begins is a better reference for me. Like after following Batman and Robin, and like, you know, some people hate Batman Forever, some people love Batman Forever, but you know, I think the comparison there is better. Just
Batman and Robin
I-
over
I'll take-
BVS. Sorry.
You know what? No.
No, I don't know.
Take
man.
Batman Forever. Batman Forever.
I'll take Dan Trachtenberg over Zack Snyder all day.
Okay, we gotta end the stream now. Sorry, guys. We're gonna.
Stream just
We're
cut
not
off.
talking-
Stream just cut
We're
off.
not doing this. We'll be
Give
here
me
all
10,
day.
10 Cloverfield Lane all day. Although I like
Oh.
freaking.
Okay,
All right,
see?
Loretto, anything you want to plug, man?
Not really. People can follow me on Twitter, Letterboxd at Marcellus Durden. Follow me also at the Cinema Spot, cinemaspot.com, at the Cinema Spot on Twitter. And we have a roundup Sunday. I'm super excited. The latest in film and news and TV on this channel. We'll be watching fresh trailers and reacting to it with you guys live this Sunday, as long as everyone's available. And I'll definitely be ready for it. Yeah.
I want to see it.
I don't want to see Zack Snyder ruin another, entire.
Zack
franchise.
Snyder's
Don't ruin
kindergarten
it,
cop.
guys.
Zack Snyder's kindergarten cop.
He'll-
Right there.
Snyder would turn the Predator into
Do
some
it,
like
Sean.
some happy-go-lucky like romantic comedy or some shit. Like
I love this. Let's do
Imagine Zack Snyder just makes like a 300 Sin City mix just with the plot line of kindergarten cop. Like that. Tell me that would be the craziest fucking thing of all time.
That'd be awesome.
oh man, kindergarten
And then
cop.
like the Arnold character is like narrating like, I don't know how I got stuck with these kids, but I am fucking
Yeah, he's just narrating to the
Like,
camera. It's-
like-
oh my god. Hire us, Hollywood. Hire us. The original Predator was a groundbreaking movie, but the prey setting brought a total different element. Yeah, I think that's why it works really well, is because
Yeah.
you also take a lot of the weapon infantry from every other
Yeah.
Predator movie. Is like this is a very grounded and naturalistic movie where
Totally.
it's all about skill and adapting and learning, and I think that's why
Whoa.
they what
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah. It's all about adapting and learning. And I think that's why adding to the big, conversation to this whole movie and her not being a strong character is no, she's running away not because she's scared, but because she doesn't know how to fight this thing yet. Like everyone in the Predator film is just like, fuck it. We don't know what it is. We assume it's an animal. We wouldn't even take any other guess. They don't care what the footprint looks like. Nothing. No other consideration. No matter how hard Naru tries, everyone pushes it off. And that's what ultimately gets them killed. And her running away isn't a show of weakness, just more of her adapting to the Predator, just a different way of the way the Predator adapts to the environment of the film. And I think that's why it works so well. And I think that's why her beating the Predator at the end is really fun and works really well and really stays in her character throughout the movie.
Just to piggyback off of that, and something I want to like throw out there because I forgot to mention it. One of my favorite moments of the film was those subtle moments. Why I've been raving about Dan Trachtenberg is because I love Naru's character about how she was always learning. She was always taking in her surroundings, studying her environment, observing her environment, and learning every single step of the way. That was really cool. Like she was almost like the Predator. Like she was one that will watch and just stare and figure out her opponent before attacking. And you look at how that contrasts with colonialism and different elements like that. Like it's so brilliant. It's Prey is such a brilliant film that I think I have Predator over Prey, but there are so many elements of Prey that I can't wait to watch and talk about over and over and over again. If you haven't watched it yet, absolutely go check it out on Hulu. Absolutely worth 1,000 watches because it's that good. Predator is back and better than ever. Thank you everyone for watching. The absolutely sensational tonight. follow us on Twitter at the Suit Up Geeks, on Instagram at the Suit Up Geeks. Tomorrow we'll have a review with my man Ryan over there and Aaron of the Bullet Train. Don't want to miss that. And then we've got next week our movie draft, greatest MCU moments of all time. It is a live fantasy football snake style movie draft, just celebrating the greatest Marvel moments ever on film and TV. Then we've got She-Hulk reviews in the near future. We've got House of the Dragon, Lord of the Rings reviews in the near future. I don't know if we're going to do an I Am Groot review. That's kind of up in the air right now. I kind of want to. I'm a big Groot fan. He's so cute. Thank you everyone for watching. We are going to wrap up shop here. We've already been almost an hour and a half live. Follow my man on Twitter at Just Ryan again. That is Batnips. Down there is Manda at AMX NDA Reviews. Check out Candace Cinema as well. And Loretto, he is at Marcellus Durden, and his studio is a car. So for Ryan, for Marcellus Durden or Loretto, and Manda, thanks for watching, guys. Stay awesome.
Bye, guys.
Many qualities for me to dislike.